Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is August the 1st, 2026. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Saturday. Hopefully the day has been a good day for you. As for me, it's been solid. It's been pretty good. I woke up mildly early. Couldn't really go back to sleep, so I was like, all right, we'll hang out. I was kind of milling about, and sun was up. I was like, okay, I'll probably go to the gym. I think this is around maybe like 9ish or so. I'm like, I'll go to the gym maybe about 15-30 minutes from now, which I was like, who knows how much I'll push. But I was thinking like, okay, pretty soon I'll go to the gym. And then I just noticed that the rain was like really coming down. I was like, oh, okay, so it's gonna be a rainy day. All right. And then I just heard this big boom. And luckily the power didn't go out, but the internet kind of flickered out for a little bit. And I took that as my sign to be like, all right, let's not dilly dally, let's not shilly shally. Let's go ahead and drop off our rent, and then we will go work out. So that was what I set out to do, and it was very rainy, at least to start. But we dropped off the rent check, then we went to the gym. Gym was solid. Kind of messed around on the Smith machine. Did wind up, at least moving, 3 plates at one point for my squat and then my deadlift. So that was nice. But y'all know, like, there's really no point in like counting my shit as any kind of real reps or movements. But hey, the weight did move. I'll take that. But yeah, I would call that a good workout because I don't feel too bad. I don't feel too messed up as of right now. I'm knocking on the wood. We got through the rest of the workout, got some cardio in. We headed home after that. Though I will say I have this weird like junky craving for like a bagel from Dunkin' Donuts. But I know that like if I go, I'm gonna get that and then like a coffee that I don't need, probably a donut that I don't need, like shit like that. So I'm trying to be like, hey, let's get back on the path. All right, the pizza was nice, but let's not wallow in it, right? So I came home, had my little snack. Then I looked at some news, and then I was really realizing that I'm like, I'm actually tired. We did wake up early as per usual. Maybe an afternoon nap wouldn't be so bad. So that's what I did. Pretty good nap, I will say. Woke up fully committed to doing some research, and here we are, ready to yap about said research news. Yes. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, and we can get into it. But we will, before that, do our roll call. Let me just get a quick water break. We all know I love to shout out the few, the proud, the newsies. All right, all right, all right. First off, Stephanie Renee. Then second, Mama Bear. And third, Kierfinski. Special plug, shout out to Nail Alchemist. Go get your nails done. She has beautiful, wonderful, crazy nails. Whatever kind of nails you want, she can make your vision come to life. So definitely hit her up. And that's like North Side area. And then shout out to my homie Ryan, sculptor. I did get to see them last week. That was fucking ripper. That was fucking awesome. Definitely check out their album that is out. I think it's on like Bandcamp, maybe. But yeah, it's free. We love free. We love listening to cool, fun, doom, sludgy music, man. Nice, cool vibes to it, bro. It's worth it. So plug and sculptor. So yeah, there you go. There. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a little cheers, I guess you could say, to my newsies, to myself, for rocking in the free world. Ooh. All right. First story comes from CBS News. Famed climber Nirmal Purja among 10 climbers killed after Pakistan avalanche, officials say. Famed British Nepali climber Nirmal Purja and 9 other climbers were killed after being swept away by an avalanche on Pakistan's Broad Peak earlier this week. His expedition company said Saturday. Rescue groups are trying to find the bodies. It is with profound sadness and immense heartbreak that we confirm that Nirmal Purja tragically lost his life following the avalanche on Broad Peak, Purja's company Elite Expeditions said on social media. We have also received confirmation that other members of the expedition sadly did not survive. Karar Hydri, the vice president of the Alpine Club of Pakistan, confirmed the news. This is heartbreaking news for all of us, and we extend our condolences to the family and friends of the climbers, Hydri said. Rescuers backed by military helicopters resumed the search Saturday for 6 members of a 10-member expedition who were swept away by the avalanche. 3 of the 4 bodies were found so far have been recovered, officials said. Let's see. A local police official, Tahir Khan, said the remains of Omani climber Nathira Ahmed were being flown to the capital, Islamabad, while the bodies of American climber Mallory Geese and Nepalese climber Bahadur, Gurung, remained at a hospital in Skardu, the main city in Pakistan's northern Gilgit-Baltistan region. He said the search and rescue efforts were ongoing despite fading hopes. The team lost contact with their base camp Thursday after an avalanche struck Broad Peak as they attempted to scale the mountain, said Kar Hydri, vice president of the Alpine Club of Pakistan, on Friday. He said there have been no contact since then and that experienced Pakistani climbers and army helicopters are taking part in the search and rescue operation. Purja, who led the expedition and was widely known as Nim's Dai, had previously climbed the world's 14 highest peaks in a record 189 days in 2019, an achievement featured in the Netflix documentary 14 Peaks, Nothing is Impossible. His record was broken in 2023. Let's see here, skipping ahead a little bit. According to the Alpine Club, the expedition included 5 Nepalese climbers, the Omani and American climbers. Pakistani climber Sohail Saki, a Chinese climber identified only as Wang, and another foreign climber whose identity has not been released. Moving Mountains, a travel company based in Pakistan, announced late last month that the expedition team was on its way to the small town of Askol and wished them a safe journey climbing Broad Peak. Let's see here. And they go through a little bit more details. But yeah, I had heard this story at the top of the week, and I was, I didn't know how optimistic I should be. So I was like, let's just wait to see, if they find anybody, if there's any hope of that. But yeah, it looks like that is not the case now, as this is now kind of shifted to, the recovery aspect. So yeah, definitely condolences. Everyone involved in that situation. It's a shame you break all these records, and I know for at least one of these guys, it's like, hey, this is supposed to be his last one, I think. Not Purja, but it's always unfortunate, however these situations happen. People are taking on Mother Nature itself, and you always are rooting for the best outcomes there and people getting home safe, but you never know. That's where the whole life's a gamble, I guess, is the thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. I do have an update, quicker than I expected, from Reuters. FIFA scraps World Cup sell-off plan after resistance from members. FIFA President Gianni Infantino said on Friday that the World Soccer governing body had scrapped plans to sell a stake in the World Cup to private investors after widespread backlash. FIFA's plan was to raise up to $4.2 billion by selling a 20% stake in a new unit that would run FIFA events, including the World Cup. That was essentially owned by, Joshua Kushner, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this caused a big uproar. I'm glad that Infantino saw the writing on the wall and said, "Oh, well, we would only stand out to lose money if everyone's going to boo me and boycott this. So I guess I'll just back down." There is talks of a resignation or forced resignation. I doubt that's going to happen. I mean, this dude has been on the same bullshit for, I believe, 10 years. We already know about the shit that happened, in terms of like reversing the red card situation for Balagun. And just because, Trump was like, just do it, man. And he did it. We know this dude's corrupt. They gave him the fucking. This is the dude who spearheaded Trump getting the fucking peace prize for fucking what? Why would FIFA make a thing like that? Okay, like this is all for angling for himself, and you could say sure the federation's benefit, but that's for them to line their pockets. So I mean, yeah, I would love to see this guy get fired, but do I think it's gonna happen? Probably not. At least not over this. Anyway, we'll see though. Maybe something else will drop. Next story from the Associated Press. Trump stands to profit off U.S. policy announcements by selling fast access to his social media posts. And the grifters keep grifting. I tell you fucking what. President Donald Trump knows the world hangs on his every word. Now he wants you to pay for it. The social media posts of the world's most powerful man are going on sale Saturday when his True Social business begins offering sneak peeks of them to Wall Street traders willing to pay up. The move raises the prospect of big profits for Trump's company and big questions about insider trading and using public office for private gain. So yeah, I believe this is going to be $100,000 per month to get exclusive fast access to his truths. And I think you could get a deal if you sign up for a 3-year commitment now. You can get them for 60K. So there you go. What a steal. But essentially, these are going to be posts that are going to come out at some point, but they're getting queued. They're getting time delayed. So you get exclusive access. And if you're a hedge fund company or whatever, you get to literally get, ahead of the game. And you can use this access to either, most likely influence, yourself, get more money, or try to do a short, which is also going to maybe get you more money. Or like you invest and then when the shit actually hits, you drop it. Like you get way more autonomy. You get so much more mobility over your, competitors. It's going to be it's going to be hard for, at least the higher up companies to say no to this, even though it's like, this is crazy. Like, why would we want to support this? This is bad for our brand. It's bad for business, bad for the company, yada, yada, yada. They're like, yeah, who gives a shit about this? At the end of the day, we know that if he says some shit about oil, that matters. We want to be the first to know that. It's important. If he wants to say, oh, this new business or whatever, this business or whatever that supports me, I love him, I like him, that's going to be something we need to hear, we need to see, we need to act on one way or a fucking another. This information is just going to be king. So it's weird that even though True Social is down, like ever since he's been president and, obviously he's put everything into this, it looks bad when he's doing all this fucked up shit, and he's been doing it now for years. But that being said, still, journalists, big companies, yada, yada, have to come to Truth to see the crazy shit he's going to say today. And then, it hits a news outlet or whatever, we get it all secondhand and we're like, wow, I can't believe he said that crazy shit. But yeah, it is essentially now Trump's attempt to paywall that and make a little bit more money. And it feels pretty fucking illegal. But I mean, hey, this administration is known for doing that kind of shit, getting away with a good chunk of it. So we'll see. I don't know if this is going to be something that gets stopped, but you would think if any other person did this in private, public sector, whatever, we would be talking about, hey, someone's got to stop this guy. Someone's got to lock this motherfucker up. But for Trump, he's like, this is just capitalism, baby. This is just how it works. Like, why are you Democrats mad? Oh, you hate a little free capital? Like, bro, this is not that. This feels like insider trading level shit. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. I know I just kind of, started this and then just kind of wanted to do it my way. Didn't want to read all this out, yada, 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 yada. But we'll see how this pans out. It is definitely interesting that we have the president of the United States essentially trying to like substack his shit, like, and maybe getting away with it. We'll see. All right, we have one more story that I wanted to cover. Speaking of Trump, speaking of, I guess, technically getting away with it, we got to talk. We got to come back to an Olympian. Speaking of sports, yeah. All right. Anyway, I want one more break. I got my last break I want to take, and then we'll go ahead and close it out for the day. Ooh, I will say an upside with this rainy day situation. It's been a hell of a lot cooler. Ooh, coming out of the gym, sweaty as fuck, and then it's like, ooh, getting a little raindrop action. That's nice. That is much better than the alternative. All right, all right. From CBS News. DOJ moves to dismiss reflecting pool vandalism charges after or against David Hearn. Says damage due to botched installation. You don't say. Federal prosecutors on Friday asked a judge to dismiss an indictment charging former U.S. Olympic canoeist David Hearn with ripping up the bottom of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, citing new information that the damage was caused by a botched installation by a contractor, not vandalism. The U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C. had charged Hearn with felony destruction of government property, accusing him of causing more than $1,000 in damage. In damage to the sealant that was recently installed at the bottom of the reflecting pool. The project to renovate the pool was championed by Donald Trump. Now I love this because even in they're saying at their most extreme take, they're saying that this guy did $1,000 worth of vandalism. And Trump's theory was the reason that this reflecting pool was so fucked up is because people like David Hearn, the likes of him, these radicals, these crazy people that didn't want America to look good for its birthday, was doing so much vandalism that was the reason. Like they are planting the algae, they are wrecking up this whole fucking sealant system or whatever the fuck. And it's like, if that's the case, why are we charging this guy with like $1,000? Like this feels so minor and insignificant, and it was. Like you get into the details, and it was. They didn't have anything. So I find it very funny that even in the wildest take, you still weren't proving your point here. Like Donald Trump was still looking like a fucking asshole who hired his fucking crony homies to fucking do a job they didn't do well. But let's read. I'm kind of just summarizing the whole thing. On Friday, prosecutors cited new information that the damage was caused by a botched installation by a contractor, not vandalism. President Trump criticized the decision on Saturday afternoon, saying on True Social that there may have been some contractor difficulty, but the major damage was caused by vandals. I disagree 100% with Jeanine Pirro, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, on the reflecting pool. Mr. Trump wrote, I don't know what she was thinking. So I feel like with this alone, she might be marking her days. It might be GG for her. And the simple faulting of reaching for the stars with this crazy ass fucking take and then realizing like we just don't have it. There's no proof in the pudding here. Like clearly there was a bigger issue at play. They go through the details of the sealants and the yada yada yada. Yada. I'll spare you that, but you can always go through and read it. But yeah, this shit was fucked from the start. Like, and you kept trying to like paste over it by kind of bleaching the whole pool or whatever. Not bleaching, I'm using the wrong chemical term here, but essentially running chemicals through it to try to get out all the algae that had bloomed. That fucked the shit up. Like at the end of the day, the sealant was also busted what David Hearn was doing. Now, this maybe takes me to my last take here, right? Because maybe I'm not so pro Hearn here, because I do think it's silly to know about what's going on and go, oh, well, I take this route, I jog, I like to visit whatever the fuck you're going to tell yourself to get yourself to this reflecting pool. And you're going to go and put your hands in it at any given point to inspect this shit, look at this shit, maybe even take a little piece for yourself. I don't know. Maybe we're speculating with that take here. But regardless, why do it? Why? It doesn't matter. You can see the pool's fucked up. You don't need to get anywhere near it. Now, apparently security say, hey, what are you doing? Stop doing that. And he stopped. That's what he said. But at the end of the day, what he was doing at the very worst was not vandalism worthy of, the charge that was launched against him, I would say. So good that, the DOJ or whatever, the prosecution, backed off this, even though, like I said, it might be over for old Janine, but we'll see. But yeah, relevant update. I would say, good for David Hearn. Good for him to be able to beat the case on this. I do feel like he deservedly should beat it. And I'm sure others as well. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe what bubbles up to the surface. I know that Trump recently, I think after the whole the big shebang bang, he did drain the pool. So I guess we're starting from zero there or whatever. Um, but yeah, that's it. I don't really want to linger too much of this. We don't need to wade in these waters for too long. That'll be the episode. If you'd like to help out support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Like I mentioned up top, patreon.com/Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. Get on that roll call. Let's see. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you like to listen. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Sharing is always caring. I always appreciate that, but you don't got to do any of that. I do appreciate any high reviews, any high star ratings on Spotify or Apple. But once again, don't worry your head about that. I just appreciate you listening to me out from time to time whenever you choose to do it. This is your first, maybe your last. That's okay. Thanks. You made it all the way to the end. Awesome. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.